Hello, folks. Welcome to another Overwatch World Cup team preview from World Cup Watchpoint. I am Ben, the writer and publisher of the World Cup Watchpoint Substack in this companion podcast series, and today we are talking about Team Brazil with Brazil's DPS Ludwig, the General Manager Nyohl, and Assistant Manager Izzy. Thank you, all three of you, for joining me. I'd like you to each just take a second to just introduce yourselves, talk a little bit about where you've come from in the Overwatch scene and some of the places you've been, teams you've been on, and how you've made your way over to Team Brazil.
Do you want to start, Ludwig?
No, you can go.
No, you don't? Okay. So I'm just gonna be very brief about me, right? My name is Neo. I played for Team Brazil in 2023 as a player. I also do streams and stuff. 19 to 2026, I'm basically the general manager for the team now.
Well, my name is Ludwig. I play since early 2017. I've been on a lot of teams and contenders and local South American tournaments. I was selected for the 2019, 2023, and now for 2026 World Cup teams. That's pretty much it.
Hi, my name is Izzy. I'm the assistant manager for Team Brazil. My background is I've been in esports, specifically Overwatch esports, since 2023. I've worked with teams such as Timeless and Dreamland in most recent years, and I'm kind of here to support more of the NA side of things, since especially I think that's where we scrim quite a bit anyways. So that's kind of where I come to play on this team.
Good to...
Thank you, Izzy, for accepting the invite.
Any other teams that you've worked for ever that anybody else in this call you may have also worked with on said team? Anyway, so I want to start. Where should we start here? I guess let's start at the beginning. I didn't count exactly, but from my somewhat glance and just analysis, I think Brazil trialed more players than any other country.
Yeah, we did.
I think so. I don't know. I don't even know who number. I don't even know who number 2 would be. Maybe Germany.
I think we trialed effectively like 56 people in total. It was so much.
Our GM was feeling a bit generous.
I mean, to be fair, you guys also made your trials into a really fun broadcast product. I was really impressed by what you did, bringing in all these different casters. It was really...
Okay. It's glitching a lot, your voice and webcam.
Okay, well, I'll just say, yeah, and I was really impressed by the broadcast product that you guys made the trials into. It was really cool. It was really it seemed like people really enjoyed it. Very much feeds into my belief that World Cup trials are kind of like part of the circus as much as they are about finding players, which I think most countries kind of try to do that at least a little bit. But through that extensive trial process, you narrowed down 50 to 7. Nyohl, what were some of the guiding principles that you were looking for in this trial process? And I also want to ask, was there anybody that at the start of this felt like a lock where you were like, okay, like I'm pretty sure already that this player is the best from Brazil in this role, and like this is who we can build around? Or was it really wide open from the start?
So to begin with, I would like to say that the whole purpose of the trials was like to get viewership and basically try to make something for South America, right? Because like we don't have any viewership here, we don't have a sponsor, we don't have anything. We wanted to like have a lot of viewership, and we have like host this whole event of trials, like people discovering players, discovering stuff, so we can present that to sponsors, right? Because we got like 3,000 viewership, I think, on like the last day of trials. It's a lot for like SA or like Brazil in general. So that was the goal of the trial, like the whole event. For the lock-in answer, the first phase we didn't have anyone, I think, because like I was hired by the coaches, of course. Like I didn't have any really decision making on the the roster. But the first week, I think the only person that was maybe like locked in was Hydron, because like, but he did not participate in phase 1 exactly. He plays like an extra day on the phase 1, but we were still like in talk with Blizzard to see if he was eligible for Team Brazil. So that's why like I couldn't say like, oh, the first week we had Hydron locked in, you know. But that was just like me thinking that probably Hydron would be the already locked. Is my opinion. But I don't have like any decision making that because like we wanted to only get like only let the coaches decide everything. At least that was the plan of me and Lockjaw, at least.
Right, yeah, because I've heard, just from people around the South American scene that they were, I don't want to use the word concerned, but there was always a fear that there was going to be like, I think it's really easy for there to be kind of, not even nepotism as much as like coaches and players picking people that they're already familiar with. Do you feel like bringing in O2 Boss and his crew was a way of trying to counteract that by bringing in a coaching staff who was basically completely unfamiliar with the South America scene?
Yeah, that was one of the goals that me and Lockjaw we had like when we started like our committee. That was back in like December, I think, and we were like, okay, we're only doing this committee if we have like a foreigner coach, right? And we talked with a lot of them, a lot of like people. Coaches from like I don't know, like from Europe, from NA, with I think there's Yahoo too. I don't know if you know him, but we talk with a lot of people, and like we kind of give up on it. But at the last time, like I don't know, like 1 week prior to the deadline of like sending our committee, we talked with Ultra Boss. So it was like a last minute thing. We talked with him, we delivered everything, and we wanted like a foreigner coach to have like this unbiased opinion, on everyone. Because like we wouldn't do our committee if we hadn't have one, That was at least what I was thinking.
Getting a Korean coach is about as foreign as you could get when it comes to South America. Who initiated those conversations? Did you reach out to him or did he reach out to you guys?
No, we did. I talked with some coaches and Lockjaw talked with another ones. The O2 Boss thing was Lockjaw.
Interesting. Okay. So, what Ludwig is? I'm assuming this is your first time ever working with a Korean coach, right?
Yes, it is.
So what's that process been like for you?
It's been a bit weird, not gonna lie, because of the language barrier. We constantly need Andai, who's Korean living in Brazil for some years now, to help us with the translation process and everything. But other than that, it's been very different from the coaches I've had throughout the years. I've had coaches from EU, from the US, from Brazil, and their approach is very, very different, I can say, is all I can say.
Could you describe a little bit more about how that plays out?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What is this O2 Boss just like abusing you guys in scrims or something?
No.
I wish, but it's not the case. It's not the case.
Well, I'm just wondering a little bit more about like what you feel like makes his style, and I say his, I don't know how hands-on guys like Myunbong and Precia are, but him and his cronies like style, like what is it that makes it so different from other coaches you've worked with?
Well, I think they're more direct with their feedback. At least the coaches I've worked with in the past, they try to find the way around the words, whereas Koreans are more just like in your face, like they say exactly what they're thinking, like instead of trying to sugarcoat it. Maybe they don't care if you feel bad or not. They just, if you're feeding, you're gonna know you're feeding. That's pretty much it.
That lines up with what I've heard as well. So looking at this roster top to bottom, it's we talked about kind of wanting to avoid bringing in the same old faces, but a lot of this roster does look very familiar. Several players, a couple players returning from the previous team. Ludwig, you've been on the past 2 versions of Team Brazil. Let's start with the support line, because that for me is like was the biggest. Wait, huh? Because from my understanding, at least when they were both playing the most actively in like Contender South America years and years ago, Bazanella and Mocha were both main support players, and Mocha's competed a little bit more in the kind of revival era post 2023. Bazinel has competed a little bit. And she's played a bit more flex support, but on the face of it, this is arguably two main supports. So how did we get here?
Okay, so basically, you mean how they would work, like in game, or like how did she get in the game? Like
how did we end up in a situation, or how did we? Because I also, this is something I mentioned briefly in the article I wrote about this, was like, I think Baza was like not listed on the third phase of trials, and then ends up becoming the starting. I'm assuming that, right? She's the flex support player.
Yeah, she's a flex support.
Yeah. So this is less of me. I don't doubt that she's capable enough on Kiriko, Ana, etc. It's less of that and more of like how we ended up. How did Brazil end up in the situation of having?
I know.
Yeah.
So. This situation exactly was that in the phase 3 we had like two players, right, for flex support. One of them had some problems with the document and everything, so he can't really play for the team. And the other one didn't like satisfy the coaches enough, so they were like looking for like a suggestion, like trying someone else. Like they were trying some stuff, and basically they tried Baza, and that was it. Like in a closed screen, and we tested, and they wanted her. That was it, basically, because like she paid. Kiriko in the past, she made it to the Face It SA Masters like final. I think the first one.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Against Loaded, and she played really well, on Kiriko. She has a Kiriko, like at least the Kiriko she has. And basically for the other support, she's like practicing a lot and everything. Yeah, we're testing.
Unless you're like Dallas Fuel or Team Canada, you only really need Kiriko.
Yeah, it's basically like a hybrid backline too, because like Mocha also plays like flex support, so.
Right. Yeah, you just kind of have to make it work. Was there at one point a plan or a consideration of having you be the flex support player for this team? Because we saw a couple of teams have committee members play in Conference Cup, and from what I heard from other people, Blizzard's opinion on that was sort of like, maybe, but like we'd rather not, but like you can for now at least.
Mm-hmm.
So was that ever like a consideration?
At least since the phase 1 it wasn't, because like I just said to coaches, I don't want to play, I don't have time, I have college, I have other stuff to do, I need to like be like the head manager for the whole project, because like we're doing a lot of social media stuff, we're like in negotiations with sponsors, with everything, so I can't just be like a player, and the manager at the same time. So I would just say to them, okay, I can't play, I don't want to be a player, that's it. But every day, like phase 1 and phase 2, they were like begging me to play. They were like saying, okay, we want you to play, we want to see you play. They were like every day they were like talking about it, like I can't. And then I kind of tried it out on phase 2. I played some games, and there was like controversies, there was stuff, and I just realized, okay, I can't play. That was it, basically. Because of the college, I just decided, so I didn't go to phase 3 because of that. I even tweeted about it, but I think you didn't see because like it was in Portuguese. But
I also might have seen it, and I think I remember seeing something like that. I was just kind of wanted to hear about how the decision process went from your perspective.
That's okay.
Izzy, I feel like you've been waiting for me to ask you something directly, and this is the part where I do, because I feel like you are our Hydron whisperer.
Yeah.
First of all, how did those conversations start with Hydron?
It was honestly his idea to begin with. He had talked about, because him and I are both at Fisher College together, and he has talked about wanting to do the World Cup again and just compete overall. We knew that Team USA would be a long shot because he hasn't competed the same way he used to when he was last on the team.
I'm gonna say more than a long shot. I would say it's a non-shot. No offense, but like it's not happening. I don't think
we both agreed on that,
especially after last time with Hydron on Team US.
I know, I understand. So we had also talked about how his mother is Brazilian, and we talked about the possibility of him being able to play for Team Brazil. And so I had kind of brought that up to Nyohl, and we kind of just took it from there. We had to get permission from Blizzard, of course, and make sure that he was eligible to compete. And I think Nyohl can probably touch on that part
Yeah,
more
I
than I
can.
can.
I can.
If you want to go ahead and do that.
It's just that like on this part exactly of being eligible, I talked with them and they were like, okay, he's eligible. Like we needed some proof that he was a Brazilian, right? So at the first they were saying, okay, he's eligible, but you need to have me like a Brazilian passport by like August, you know,
Right.
to like because of the land and everything. But in our constitution, like the Brazilian constitution, basically, even though you're like a kid like born like abroad, you know, but like Brazilian parents, you are considered Brazilian. So I just talked with them about that.
Same as the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Okay, I didn't know that, but yeah, basically. So he said I
Birthright
talked with
citizenship.
Blizzard about that, and he was like, okay, so basically he's eligible. That was it. So I just bring the constitution, like I said, I have he has like his mom passport, like Brazilian passport, so he's eligible. That's it. Like that
Oh,
proves that he's Brazilian.
he got his passport.
Yeah, no, his mom passport, but
Oh,
it proves
okay.
that she's Brazilian, so he is also Brazilian, you know,
Right.
because
Yeah.
of that.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this was something that Team Philippines was navigating as well, where they had players who, by law, are Filipino citizens, but some of them didn't yet have Filipino passports. They've
Yeah.
been navigating that process their own way. They obviously have way more players, but
Yeah, we also have a
Um,
player that has like doesn't have like a Brazilian passport, but has like a Italian one, but he's also Brazilian, so we have to
Who?
talk about that.
which one?
Was easy.
It
Was easy.
was easy, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, this
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I wasn't even that.
are there a lot of Brazilians that have Italian passports?
Uh,
Or like,
Like,
not a lot,
I
but
know
like
like two of them.
I think
pretty-
Dalka also has it. I'm pretty sure
No,
like-
Dalka
Doc
also
não
has it.
tem. Doc
a
não, Doc
decent
But he-
number
but he can get
at
it.
least.
But ele consegue pegar.
Shanov has one.
Yeah, Shanov's not a team, but I wish. I love Shanov.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah, he's old. He's old.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah, he's old. He's
Being
old.
old has never been an obstacle to competing in South America.
Clearly not.
No.
Clearly not.
Clearly not.
High level.
Clearly not.
Clearly not.
Chile topped the qualifiers with a flex support who's 30. Like,
Wait.
FX side.
FX.
FX.
Yeah,
FX
yeah.
and then,
side.
and then
FX,
granted, immediately replaced him with like a 20-year-old Costa Rican, but still.
Wet 2 stealing from the elderly. Shame on you, Wet 2.
I'm pretty sure FX is still going to be on the roster just as a backup. But so Izzy, like in your time managing Hydron at Fisher, like how do you think he compares to what he was in his prime? Though I don't even know if you were like in the scene to witness prime Hydron. And like
Towards the end, I was. That's what kind of when I first got into it. I will say, you know, when he first started at Fisher, this was spring of 2025. He was wanting to. I think he was also doing Rivals at the time, and he wanted to try to get back into Overwatch. And it wasn't really until late December, after we came back from the collegiate land, where he just took it upon himself to be a full-time content creator. And so he has this like newfound love of the game, and he streams
he's going-
every single day. He
he's going
loves
all
it.
in on the...
He really does. He really hopes to compete again one day. And at this point, all he's been doing is just grinding the game again, and it's been great to see. I'm really excited to see the path he's trying to take to get back there.
He's really embraced his Brazilian side. I mean, he's on the what's the org that signed them, 9Z or something, that team in
Yes.
South America with LCS and Wed and those guys. Like he's really he's embracing his heritage. His
Oh, yeah.
his mom must be very proud of him.
That's Argentina team though. Boo.
Yeah, it's like Argentina org.
Boo.
Yeah. Argentina org.
At least
okay.
at least it's not. I'm not even gonna say the name of it, but. Izzy,
Yeah, but I
you know
know
I
what
mean.
you. I know.
At
I think
least
I
it's
know
not
what you're talking
them
about.
or some Saudi org or
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah.
that was sort of the point of, I think I made a tweet about that. At least it's a South American org and not like Brock Esports again.
Yeah, when I found out the news, I was elated because it's so exciting to see like a South American org, you know, sign a team from South America. It's great.
So, Ludwig, what is the the comm situation look like with Hydron? Because I've heard he speaks a bit of Portuguese, but he's not totally like.
He's not fluent, but he understands. Like at the beginning, like when he first came on the tryouts, everybody was trying to speak English with him, but he said like, "Hey guys, I can understand Portuguese just fine. You know, you don't need to change language on the comms." And some of us still struggle with that a little bit, even nowadays in scrims. Like we just mix up calls in English and Portuguese. But most of us have pretty much gotten used to it by now, that he can understand Portuguese very well. He doesn't speak very much, but he can understand it very well. So the comms are pretty fluid, I think so.
English? I don't.
Sort of, yeah, sort of.
It does not roll off the tongue as well as Spanglish, does it?
It's a bit weird, but it works.
It works
for us.
It works, yeah. It does work for us, so it's fine.
So what I want to, before we get into the tank situation, I want to throw some flowers to MidZ, one of the two players on this team that I would call like new gen players, as in people that started post in this like the Face It League era, basically. Mm-hmm. Also somebody who's a fellow reporter-ish coverage guy. What did I asked? I want to read this quote because it was really good. I asked Senju about him, and he said, "Oh my God, what did he say?" He said he's a scholar of the game and the community, and he enjoys data and numbers. Which is that's
pretty much him.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's it. That's exactly
Absolutely.
it. Yeah, I agree.
What's his role in the DPS rotation?
Well, he plays more of like those gimmicky characters, I would say. Like the Venture, the Ven, the Pharah. Sort of those very map-specific heroes, very comp-specific heroes. And he's been doing very well. Even in the tryouts, he impressed, I think, everybody. Nobody expected him to be that good. And he's been doing very well. I'm very proud of him. He constantly asks me questions. He's constantly wanting more, wanting to study more. Constantly talking to the coaches, to Hydron, to everybody. He lives and breathes Overwatch pretty much.
Yeah. So let's. I got a couple more things I want to hit up here because I feel like there's a lot to talk about with Brazil. So the tank line, we've got Delka and Wasizi. I was surprised that this was not what's his name? Luvico.
Yeah.
If only because he was sort of the guy who had been at least like kind of performing the most in Face It League, and I know like a lot of players in South America, like they'll play Face It League and then they'll go away for a season and they'll come back, or they'll come back for like the EWC run. It kind of goes back and forth, but it's everybody. I'd love to hear a little bit about how the process of putting this tank line put together, especially with the added wrinkle of like having to remove Connie from the equation due to
like how do they work, like in rotations, maps, and everything, like
that second. But first, I just want to hear a little bit more about the decision process behind selecting these two tanks, and then we can talk about the rotation.
So that's the thing that's complicated for me to say because I don't know because it was the coaches, right? But I think, like in my opinion, if I would say, it's basically like because they wanted to like have a solid tank. It's basically going to be like a lot of maps, and we have like one specific guy that's gonna like be good in one character and do that from one map. Basically, I don't know. Like I thought of that at least, but I have no idea. But I think
the generalist and the specialist, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was the idea, probably.
Yeah, Ludwig, you've played with Delka before, right? I think.
Yeah, I played with him for like
too.
six straight years now.
Yeah, so here and there a little bit occasionally. What do you feel like his strengths are as a tank player? That's not a great first response.
No, it's just that we played with him for so long. We like to joke with him. We like to joke. Yeah,
I know.
We do that.
I think his biggest strength is his hero pool. He has a pretty big hero pool. He's unranked all the time. He's always like asking us to try new comps. Can you try Hazard? Can you please try Hazard? Can you please try Monkey?
Yeah, it's like experimental.
We tell him no, just play Diva, just play Zard. But no, I want to try Hazard. Please, can we play Zard? Can we play this? Like he's just nonstop. He's just. I'm not gonna say he's like MidZ because Doc is a bit stupid, but he's sort of like MidZ.
It's a bit stupid.
And his.
I can't lie.
I think he has a very good decision making most of the time, at least. But no, I'm just having fun. I really like the guy, and yeah, that's pretty much it. His comms are very good. His comms are very clean. He's always saying what he wants to do with his ult, how he wants to play, where he wants to play, and I think that's pretty much his biggest strong point. I think.
I would switch things up a little bit. Izzy, what's been the most fun part for you about kind of being involved with Team Brazil and kind of getting to work in an environment, in a scene that you haven't really worked in before?
It's honestly been such a nice experience being able to work with these people, because it's like you said, I haven't worked with many of them before. I worked with Nyohl before briefly when he was on Factor X in season 6 of Face of League. And it's honestly just been a breath of fresh air. You know, I love North America, but being able to experience something completely new in South America it's just been so fulfilling for me. Because I've always wanted to try and push myself to learn new things, meet new people, and just try and explore the world. So it's been great. I'm just thrilled to be here.
Just happy to be here, yeah.
Yeah, really.
Right before this, I recorded the Team Canada podcast. They were talking about how they felt like y'all on Team Brazil were talking a really big game. So looking at the group that you guys are in with Canada, Colombia, and Puerto Rico, what team are you most excited to go up against? And just what are your thoughts on the group as a whole?
I mean, I want to play against Puerto Rico so we can shut you up because you said we were going to get spawn camped.
Oh yeah, I did say that.
Yeah,
today.
I won that. I won
I
that.
said,
No,
I
I'm
said
keeping that
if.
tweet. We are
I
keeping
said
the tweet.
if/when. Well, here's in all seriousness. Here's when I look at the 6 Latin American teams in this group, Brazil and maybe Argentina as well have the fewest number of players to have played in like North America tournament. And like from having spoken to players who have kind of gone from South America to North America, like LCS and WED, for example, they've talked about how making that jump just has improved the quality of practice that they get. So my working theory is like, if Puerto Rico's like, if you would call their team like a low face it master team, I would say something around there overall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Brazil is like a good to great face it South America master team. In a lot of cases, I would favor a low master NA team over most South American teams. That's my logic, and I would apply that to Puerto Rico and Mexico, and maybe Colombia, but they're very disjointed in terms of the different roles on their team. Their DPS line is insane, but then other parts are significantly less experienced. But that was the rationale behind my tweet. That and just wanting to kind of, you know, I love the Brazilian Overwatch community, but y'all can also be kind of haughty sometimes, kind of cocky, and I appreciate that because it's good. It's good banter. But, you know, I feel like I gotta lean in at this point.
I mean, so we're like in a high expert team, like in terms of face it.
I genuinely don't know because we don't get to see good South American teams play against NA teams like that often.
Mm-hmm.
Most of what we've seen is like good South American teams playing against like the best in the world, which obviously like just because of we need a lot of things. That's not gonna like, you know, Loaded playing against like Crazy Raccoon or whatever is not really going to be representative.
That's not really fair comparison.
I mean, we had an opportunity to play with one team, but we didn't. I can talk about that, right, Izzy? I think you like don't mind. But there was a time that we almost like screamed GK because like they wanted to scream us and everything, but this time we couldn't, unfortunately.
It was gonna be 7-1 all over again.
Yeah, it was going to be a hell of a thing, but we could have like
again.
screamed like against GK because like they would be like. They wanted for like a
I think they wanted like a warm up from us. I think that's what it was.
the one that has Alphi and Lambda.
Current GK.
Yeah, current GK.
Current GK, yeah.
Yeah, Izzy, what? So actually, you'd be the good person to ask because you're booking all the NA scrims. Like, what? You don't have to talk about specific teams, but what kinds of teams are you guys scrimming against? Like, what level, I guess?
Our biggest focus is like in 2 areas, and so obviously we want to prioritize scrimming against other World Cup teams. I feel like that's more prevalent to us and how we're trying to do things, but we also try to book with the NA Masters teams.
Okay.
I won't go into detail about that, but we do also book with those as well.
Yeah, that's sort of what I would have imagined.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I think you know what? I will make sure to mark Brazil versus Puerto Rico on my calendar.
I'm very excited for it.
No, I'm very excited. I'm actually excited against Canada too. Like Canada is gonna be interesting.
Oh, Canada will be fun.
In my opinion.
You actually have your tweet pinned on the Discord channel. So
Yeah, everyone's looking at it every day.
I've really
every
just
practice.
I'm really picking the best countries to antagonize. France, Brazil,
it's our motivation. It's literally
England
our motivation.
accidentally like you know what I should do next is I should tweet about how Team China is going to be bad. I just go after the most passionate fan bases and make them all hate me.
Oh yeah.
Like Chile likes me though. They love me, I think.
Yeah, they're a good group. I like them. But I will say, I personally very excited to see Brazil and Puerto Rico just because Talisman's on Puerto Rico. And in like the Fisher team chat we've been like calling it the Avengers Civil War. So we're so very excited. We're so excited for it.
In that analogy, does that make Kiwi like Baron Zemo?
Ooh.
I don't get it.
Maybe. I actually didn't think of it that far.
Because he's
Wow.
off doing his own machinations.
Yeah, he is. But honestly, I'm very proud of him, so
Kiwi told me to tell you that he wants to beat Hydron.
I know he does. The guys all want to like take their piece of the pie.
Everyone wants to beat up on Hydron.
Yeah. Because it's so funny to be able to sit there and be like, yeah, I beat Hydron, by the way. I beat Hydron.
Don't ask what year it is.
It's just funny. Don't ask what year it is, but it's so funny. I love it. Their banter between each other is hilarious.
Yeah. Neil, what about you? Is there any team in this group that you kind of want a bite at?
Actually, I like I'm looking forward most to probably Colombia because like 2023, I think.
Right. Yeah. You
Yeah.
want to get your run back on them.
Yeah, kind of run back. So yeah, I want to do that. But I think like every match is gonna be like interesting. Even like against Canada, I think it's gonna be really interesting. Really, I'm confident.
So, closing out here, what are the sort of internal expectations that have been set for Team Brazil? Like, what are your goals for the World Cup?
Well, we don't have any goals set up. You know, we just want to play. We just want to win. We're just gonna take one step at a time. Like right now, the focus is getting out of groups, and once we get out of groups, of course, the focus will be getting top 8. And once we get top 8, the goal is gonna be to win the whole thing. So
A step at a time.
step by step, yeah.
I want to ask: Do you think the group stage being in Korea is a more enticing motivation than if it was in like Saudi Arabia or Germany or something?
Well, I
I'd
can't
say
really
so.
speak for everyone, but to me, I would say so. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
also agree.
I agree.
I think most of the players would agree as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had EWC for 2 straight years now in Saudi Arabia, and you know it's new destinations.
Once you've been to Korea, then you've made it. Yeah.
Yeah,
a little
pretty
bit.
much.
But thank you all so much for sitting down with me. Really appreciate it. Very much looking forward to seeing what kind of stuff Team Brazil is able to do this year, and we will see y'all in the server. Everybody watching, listening, please remember, like, share the video, please subscribe on YouTube, subscribe to my Substack, World Cup Watchpoint. I'll be leaving Ludwig, Nyohl's, and Izzy's socials in the description. Please give them some love, and yeah, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.